What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin, and today we're coming in with a banger of a video, an absolute hoot and a holler. In today's video, we're talking about a very fun Molly experience that happened pretty recently. But before we dive into that, make sure to head over to goblin420.com today, then don't miss out on the 420 merch sale. Just head over to goblin420.com and put anything you want in your cart to get the biggest discount we've ever done. The discount is automatically applied, so you don't have to enter any code. Just buy whatever you want, add it to your cart, and you automatically get a 25% discount. The biggest discount ever, ladies and gentlemen. Happy 420. This discount ends on 422, so get in there quick. This doesn't last long. Hey, hop in there, goblin420.com, 25% discount now. Get in there, ladies and gentlemen. Links in the description below. Thank you all for supporting the merch, and without further ado, let's dive right into the video. Now, in today's video, we're talking about a pretty recent Molly experience that happened back in 2021. This happened in spring of 2021, and at this point, I was still living down south, so I was traveling up fairly often just to visit my friends and kick it with the homies and have a good time. You see, in the town that I had moved to, I didn't really know anybody. There was nothing to do, so more often than not, I would say about every month or so, I would end up driving up north just to visit, see my old friends, and figure out what was going on. Now, this was a very short trip up. This trip only lasted like 3 days. I mean, I got there, I think I spent 1 full day there, and then I dipped out on the 3rd day, if you count the day of driving down as one of the days of the trip. I don't know, but either way, this was a very, very short trip, and I had next to nothing actually planned for this trip. You see, I had just bought a very decent amount of drugs. I packed them all in my car. I hit up all my homies, and I was like, well, fuck it, one of them's gonna answer, and I hit the goddamn road. Now, I had also just gotten my license back very, very recently, so I was ready to rumble, dude. For the longest time, I had to take the back roads, and I was tweaking out about getting pulled over. For the longest time, I was driving an unregistered car that was uninsured with a suspended license. Now, I was driving an unregistered car that was also uninsured, but I had my license. We were vibing, dude. I was good to go. I didn't give a shit about the car, so I hopped in the whip. I hit up the homies and let them know I was coming up, and away I went. Now, I had brought a bit of a party kit with me. I was still doing a lot of cocaine at this point, so I had brought a decent amount of that. I had also brought some Xans with me. Of course, I brought the weed. I had everything I needed. I even brought a couple bottles of liquor from back home. I mean, I had it all, dude. So I'm whipping back up, and I had a wonderful little drive, dude. I was feeling good, despite the fact that if I got pulled over, I was probably still fucked. I didn't really care, dude. I was having the time of my life, knowing that my license was not suspended anymore. I had just gone to the DMV, gotten that out of the way, so I was much more comfortable riding with a lot of drugs. You see, now some of you guys may have heard the rule that you should never break 2 laws at the same time, or never commit 2 crimes at the same time, and that's something that I used to follow religiously, because I would often commit 3, 4, or 5 crimes at a time. For example, in this one drive, just from my current town back up to my hometown, we had driving without insurance, we had driving without registration, we had possession of cocaine, we had possession of Xanax, and probably possession of an illegal amount of weed. I don't really remember how much I exactly had, but when I was going back up home, oh, I brought the goods. So we're just going to go out on a limb and assume that it was probably a questionable amount. Also, I had taken a bar before this drive, so if they really wanted to nail me, there's probably a charge for that too. So I'm chilling and I'm having the cruise of my life, and I make it up north no problem. Now, I wasn't staying with my mom. She didn't really want me over at this point, which was no problem because I had booked a night at the beautiful Red Roof Inn. This was my go-to, dude. Honestly, it's gotten pretty bad lately. I live back around, closer to my hometown again. Not exactly in the same area, but pretty close, and I still pass that Red Roof fairly often. It's bad now, dude. I would never stay there now. But even back in 2021, it was noticeably declining. But now, like, dude, it's really bad. Like, back in the day, you had to know which door to knock on to find the prostitutes. Now, they'll find you in the parking lot. It's a very different vibe. So, either way, you know, I had pulled up to the Red Roof, checked myself in, gotten situated, and none of my friends had told me they were free. I'd gotten a reply from a couple of my homies, but they weren't available. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, fuck, dude, what should I do? I decided that I wanted to go out for the night. You know, even if I just had to go to a bar on my own, I was going out. I had some goods with me as well. I figured if I brought a little bag of blow, I went to a bar, I'd meet somebody, bro. And that's exactly what I did. You see, cocaine is the most valuable currency inside any decently crowded bar. It doesn't even really have to be crowded, just in any venue with drunk people. Cocaine is extremely valuable. Cocaine to a drunk man is Narcan to a heroin man, okay? Very big deal. Now, I was already kind of familiar with what bars I should be going to in the area, of course. I mean, I grew up around here, so it wasn't like I had to go explore. I knew exactly where I was going with a bag of blow in my pocket. So I skedaddle and I head on over to the bar, and the only reason I'm not saying the name of this bar is because I still go to this place sometimes. It's pretty good, honestly. But either way, I get in there and listen. It was very, very crowded, okay? There was a bit of a line at the door, but that's kind of normal anytime past 8 or 9. But holy shit, dude. It was crowded, bro. It was it was like a Thursday night, I'm pretty sure, bro. It was not even like a full-on weekend yet, and it was lit at this bar, dude. So I get in there, and it's pretty much shoulder to shoulder. I don't know if there was a show or, like, I don't know what was happening, because this isn't really like a music venue, you know? Not really big enough for music, but, dude, there was at least, like, 100 people in here, dude. It was insane, bro. Shoulder to shoulder, I'm getting around, I'm trying to find some space, and finally, I get out to the patio area. You see, this is a 2-story bar. You got your first level, which is where all the old people hang out, you know, all the people who are drinking, like, bullshit, you know, they're sitting there, they go to the bar and they order wine, you know, or they're like, hey, let me get a Miller Lite, you know, okay, all right, we see you. And then upstairs is where the people that actually want to go to the bar to have fun stay, right? So I'm on the upstairs level, and I finally make my way out to the patio, and I'm chilling out there. You know, I had not even gotten myself a drink yet, and I'm looking around, and there's a guy pretty much right next to me as soon as I walked out that was smoking a blunt. So I just sparked up a conversation. I was like, yo, like, that smells pretty good, dude, because I could smell it was a Swisher. Swishers have a very distinct smell. I asked him if I could hit his blunt, you know, just very casually. I was like, yo, bro, like, you should let me hit the blunt, you know? And I felt kind of bad because normally this isn't something that I would go around asking, but, like, fuck it, dude. I'm with nobody. Let's spark up a conversation, you know? So I'm asking this guy, I'm like, yo, man, let me tap the blunt. He passes it to me. This guy's just smoking a Swisher. Like, there's no weed, bro. Like, he was just tapping a Swisher. So I didn't want to be rude. I did hit the thing, like, once. And then I passed it back, and I was like, yo, thanks, man. Appreciate it. I just dipped, dude. I didn't even continue the conversation with the guy after that. I was like, oh, my God. I don't know if I want to hang out with this guy. He has nothing to lose, bro. He's smoking straight Swishers, dude. It was a tropical fusion, if I remember correctly. It smelled like that. I remember it being very fruity. Now, I realized pretty quickly as I was wandering through this crowd of people, I was sitting there, and I was just like, why the fuck did I go here? It was a very spontaneous, like, ADHD decision to just pop out to this bar alone. But I was sitting there as I had gotten out to the patio, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck am I doing here? I'm sitting there, and I was like, well, I'm not really trying to get any pussy. You know, I'm not in that mood, dude. I really was not in the mood to sit there and talk to some half-drunk, pretty annoying white girl. I just wasn't having it, okay? So that's not the angle I was going for. I'm sitting there also, and I'm like, well, I could have just stayed in my hotel room and taken a bunch of Xanax and gotten the best sleep of my life. And as I'm sitting there just kind of having a moment of self-reflection, I get a phone call. And it's from one of my homies that I had hit up earlier in the day. I took a shot in the dark and I hit up one of my friends who I hadn't seen in a little while. Now, we'd been gaming together, but we hadn't actually hung out in person for quite a while because he lived just further away and he had gotten a new job. It was my boy who we're going to call Jared. Now, I don't remember what I called him in the previous stories. This guy was there when I did acid for the first time. So him and I go way back. But Jared hits me up and he's like, yo, bro, like, what are you up to? What's going on? We're chatting a little bit. I tell him where I'm at and he's like, bet. I'll pull up. Give me like 15 minutes. This guy flew, dude. I got a drink. I went back out to the patio and I was chilling. I talked to a couple people. Low-key, oh my God. I wasn't going to include this in the video, but I got to include this in the video. So I bumped into a guy that I did not recognize, bro. And I felt bad. This seems to happen to me fairly often. I think I'm just bad with faces. Like, I don't remember a lot of people, and this just happened to me again the other day. That's what reminded me of this story, dude. That's what made me feel the need to make this video, dude. The other day, I got bumped into by a guy that I just did not recognize, and it was at a bar down the street from the one in this video, right? So the bar that we're at in today's video, back in 2021, in today's story, the same exact thing happened. I got bumped into by some kid who came up, and I don't even remember the dude's fucking name, bro. I don't remember, but he recognized me, and he claimed we went to school together. He was like, yeah, dude, and it wasn't high school. He said we went to middle school or something together, which I guess that makes more sense as to why I didn't recognize him. I don't know, but this guy was talking hoopla, bro, and I'm not the kind of person where I'm going to pretend to know you, bro. Like, if I don't recognize you, I'm just going to say I don't fucking know you, man. I mean, that's how it is, you know? And I did not know this guy, so I felt kind of bad, you know? I'm sitting there, and I'm like, oh, sorry, man. Like, I don't recognize you, bro. And he just kind of walked away. He was like, oh, okay. You know, he seemed kind of defeated by that. And I was like, fuck, well, that's unfortunate, you know? So either way, I'm chilling out with my drink, finish my first one, get over to grab the second one, and as I'm waiting at the bar to get my second drink, Jared comes in, right? He taps me on the shoulder, he's chilling, and he brought one of his friends who I'd never met before. I guess this guy was one of his friends from work or something, because he was a bit older than us. I don't really know how old he was, but you could just tell he was definitely not in the same age range, but very cool dude either way. We're chatting it up a little bit, we'd all gotten some shots. You know, Jared insisted we do tequila shots, which I don't perform very well with. And as we're taking these shots, we also had these mixed drinks with us. And Jared puts his drink down. And I hadn't seen this guy in years, bro. I didn't know what drugs he was doing. I hadn't done any drugs with this guy in a long time. The last time I talked to him, in fact, the last time we hung out prior to this, he was sober. Like, all he was doing was smoking weed. So when he put his drink down and he pulled out a baggie and dropped some shit in his drink, I was very, very surprised. And I said to him, I said, Jared, what the fuck did you just do? And he was like, well, man, I just dropped a little Molly in my shit. You want some? And I'm sitting there and I'm like, yo, I'm super down, dude. I told him, I said, whatever you trying to drop in my drink, do it, dude. Roofies, Molly's, I don't give a fuck, dude, put it in my drink. So he did, bro. He drugged me up. I had a vodka cran, my classic go-to. He drugged my ass up immediately, my guy. Immediately, dude. He dropped, I don't know how much in. I didn't really ask for a specific dose. He was just like, yeah, bro, I got you. Drop some in, and we were lit, bro. I stirred up my drink a little bit, and listen, Molly's the kind of thing where you got to stir it real good, because otherwise you're just going to have a half-melted rock at the bottom if you drink it too fast, you know? You got to let it sit for a little bit, let it really marinate, and then stir it up good. That's exactly what I did, right? Stirred my shit up, down the hatch, slammed my first vodka cran. Or my second one, pardon me, not my first. My first one was not drugged. My first Molly cran, I should say. Slammed my first Molly cran. Go over to the bar, get another vodka cran, right? Get another drink for Jared and his homie. Bring them back. This round was on me. Molly cran, baby. Another one. Jared doses me up. Holy motherfuck. Listen, By the time I had finished my second Molly crayon, I was lit out of my mind, and we hadn't even retrieved the cocaine yet. I had almost forgotten that I even brought the bag with me, dude, until I reached into my pocket at one point to grab I don't know if it was a vape or a lighter, but I was grabbing some shit, and I pulled out my bag of blow, and I showed it to Jared, and we're standing in the corner of the patio, and I'm like, Jared, I brought some shit too. And he's like, fuck yeah. He told me, he's like, you should just drop it in my drink. And I asked him, I was like, would that even fucking work? And he's like, I don't know, man, but just like put some in my drink, you know, let's just see let's see what goes down, you know? So I put a very little rock in Jared's drink, and I don't really think it did much, but holy motherfuck, I was lit, dude. The music was already loud in here, and I'm not the kind of guy to dance, I'm gonna be honest. But once the Molly hit, bro, I was dancing in that bitch. I can't lie. I was low-key, I was kind of hitting that shit, bro. Me and the boys, dude, it was the three of us out on the patio, and we were vibing, dude. I felt ready to rumble, dude. I was looking for the thickest bitch they had in the venue after the Molly hit, bro. I was looking around, man. I got myself another drink. I was feeling lit. I was just talking to random people, dude. I told Jared, I was like, yo, dude, let's go survey the scene. Let's go take a look around, you know? And he didn't give me enough to full on like lockjaw roll, right? I wasn't just sweating bullets out of my mind, but I was vibing. However much he put in the 2 Molly crayons that I had, I was vibing. It was the perfect dose. I was feeling fantastic. No cocaine necessary. So we're just, you know, kind of vibing through the bar, looking around. We go back inside from the patio. It's hot as shit in there, very musty. I'm looking around. I ended up talking to a girl who definitely normally wouldn't be my type, but she was a very cool girl, you know? We kind of danced in the same vicinity, you know? It was very nice, but even off the Molly, I still had to reel myself in and say, hey, listen, man, she's not for you. She's not for you. Hey, you'll know how it goes, man. Couple drinks, a little bit of Molly. Honest to God, I'd fuck Rosetta Stone. I don't even know if she's a real person, but I'd probably fuck that bitch. Is Rosetta Stone even a person, bro? I know no information about Rosetta Stone, dude. I don't know. I might get canceled for that line. Either way, let's just proceed. So, I was lit, dude. Listen. Normally, I'm not the kind of guy who's like going to the bar, talking to girls. You know, that's not really my kind of thing, bro. The kind of bars I go to are the seedy ones where it's dusty in that bitch and the shots are $2 and there's next to nobody there. I don't like going to these club bars, you know, but I had a blast this night, dude. Holy fuck. I was just going around. I was macking on random women that wanted nothing to do with me, dude. Holy shit. I was the Rizonator on this fine evening. This was nothing like me. Molly brought out a different beast inside of me. I'm feeling the tingling through all of my limbs, including my penis, dude. I was feeling amazing. I'm walking through, dude. I ended up talking to one girl who I got her Snapchat, bro. I got her to add me on Snap. You know how good I felt? You know how good I felt? I'm asking her what she did. She said she was a nurse. I'm sitting there and I'm like, damn, bro. I feel like every girl that I know is a nurse, bro. I could name probably at least 10 nurses that I went to high school with off top right now, bro. But you know, I like that about her. Nurses, hey, that's a good job. I was down for that at the time. So I was like, hey, you know, add me up. Add me up. Got her on Snapchat. Never spoke to her. Never even sent her a goddamn message. But you know, hey, sometimes you got to go out there and just get yourself that little ego boost. You just got to pull just for the sake of knowing you still got it. You know, it's like when I go and I play mini golf again, like you're seeing in this gameplay. Sometimes I just got to remind myself that I still fucking got it, you know? So that was what this night really was for me. I was off to Molly and I was just having a practice run. It was a scrimmage on the court tonight. Now, listen. If I'm this excited about pulling one girl's Snapchat in the bar, that's how you really know. Listen, I'm not the kind of guy who's pulling at clubs and shit, okay? As you guys could probably assume, okay? But listen, I'm going to tell y'all a secret, man. You're out at the bar, get her Instagram, bro. You got a lot of followers on Instagram. All of a sudden, she's starting to ask a lot more questions, guys, okay? Easy winning strat. You got to remember that. I don't look like I got it in me, all right? But all I got to do is get them to look at my profile, and we're fucking in, boys, all right? So either way, I was having the time of my life this night. fantastic ass evening, dude. I had completely lost track of Jared, and I ended up going into the bathroom to do a little bit of this blow that I had almost forgotten about. I was off the perfect dose of Molly, and I figured maybe just a small bump would elevate me a little further. Now listen, this is something I really don't recommend doing, okay? Combining cocaine and Molly, or really any two uppers at the same time, is an awful idea, and me drinking on top of it, I'm honestly surprised I didn't have a heart attack this night, dude. Really, what I was doing here was very, very dangerous, guys. But I can't sit here and lie to you and say I wasn't having fun, because motherfucker, I was, okay? So I went in the bathroom, and I went in one of the stalls when it opened up. There was a bit of a line, and I was going crazy. Honestly, probably half of the line was doing the same thing as me. But I went in there, and I started doing my bump, right? I got the bump out as quick as I could. I had kind of pre-crushed up this bag, knowing that I was bringing it out anyways and not serving it. So I was able to do a bump pretty quickly, and I popped right back out there. Now, I walked out of the bathroom, and I went back to the patio, and Jared and his homie were still out there. They were just kind of chilling. So I caught back up with them, and I was like, yo, dude, that Molly is fucking good, man. I didn't even realize probably an hour and a half had passed to almost 2 hours since that shit initially hit me. And I'm sitting there like, damn, I'm feeling really fucking good. This is where I drew the line on driving. You see, earlier in the day, I was totally willing to load my shit up with the blow and the bars and the loud and hop in uninsured and unregistered and whip. But now that I was also intoxicated, this is where I drew the line. I was like, okay, I gotta figure out how to get home tonight, boys. So I asked them, I was like, is one of y'all driving? And they were like, well, we drove here, but like, we're probably not driving back. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, fuck, dude, we're all in the same boat, bro. This is fucked. We chilled at the bar for a little longer until it got pretty late, dude. It got pretty late. And we finally decided it was time to skedaddle. It was like 30 minutes before closing. I was kind of starting to come down off the Molly, and I also didn't really want any more, you know? Jared kind of wanted me to pay for it, which I totally understand. Obviously, he gave me some free shit earlier, and I didn't really feel like paying for it, you know? Molly was not necessarily one of the things I was super frequently doing at this point in my life. The Coke and the Xans were really my bread and butter. So we left the bar, and we're just kind of walking through the area, and for some reason, none of us call the Uber. We haven't even brought up calling the Uber. We just started walking, dude. We just started taking a goddamn stroll, and we ended up a couple blocks over at a Burger King. Now, this Burger King is scuffed, bro. It is derelict, and for some reason, this Burger King was closed, which kind of threw me off, because I feel like Burger King should be open late, bro. That's the only market they're ever going to capture, bro. If Burger King wants to get business, they got to be open till like 4 a.m., dude, because absolutely nobody is going to go get Burger King anytime before 10 p.m., and they're never going to go get that shit unless they're absolutely blackout wasted out of their fucking minds. So we felt very defeated. You know, we made it all the way to this Burger King. It was closed. Then we called the Uber. We were like, all right, dude, let's call a fucking Uber. Now, we got in the Uber, and Jared just called the goddamn Uber back to his house. But we're sitting there, and I'm like, wait, bro. Like, this, I don't live anywhere near you. Like, I'm staying at the goddamn Red Roof Inn, bro. Like, this is not, your house is so far away. And he's like, oh, shit, yeah, you're right. And then his homie's sitting there, and he's like, yeah, bro, and like, we didn't even meet up at your place. And he's like, oh, we all had different places to be, bro. And the Uber driver's sitting there while we're all arguing. And we spent the entire ride arguing about how we had to be different places until we just ended up back at Jared's house. And now I'm sitting there and we're standing in this guy's driveway. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, you should have added a stop for us or something, you know? And he's sitting there and he's like, well, fuck that, dude. Like, we could just chill here for a bit. So we fucking go inside of Jared's house, and his mom is sitting on the couch, bro. I'm fucking geeked, dude. I had just done a little bit of bumps at the bar. I gummed a little bit more in the Uber. I'm fucking still rolling pretty decently. I'm drunk as fuck. I walk in, I'm covered in sweat, my pupils are fucked, and I make eye contact with this dude's mother. I have known this kid and his mother since like kindergarten, bro. Her seeing me in this state must have just been disappointing for her. Awful. So I told Jared, I was like, bro, listen, I gotta get the fuck up out of here. I don't really want to sit here and do cocaine with your mother like 5 feet away. You know, I'd rather just go back to the Red Roof Inn and do cocaine and, you know, adjacent to some prostitutes and pimps and probably some guys with warrants. You know, that seems much more fitting. So that's exactly what I did. I went back to the Red Roof Inn. I chilled out. I did some blow, and I had a wonderful little evening. And at the end of that evening, I popped a Xan and slept like a baby. And that was a very degenerate night in spring 2021. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop a like if you did. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And also, don't forget to head over to Goblin420.com for your 420 merch discount. 25% off, the biggest discount in Goblin store history. Get over there today. Thank you guys for watching. See y'all in the next one. Deuces.